Well, good morning. We welcome you to the 2024 annual meeting of the Decatur-Morgan County Chamber of Commerce as we are celebrating our 93rd year. I'm Crystal Brown, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president and CEO of the Chamber. Today, we are proud to be your partner with an eye always on the horizon, anticipating your needs and finding ways to grow collaboratively. We are grateful for you, our members, and our guests for your continued investment and support. I want to say a special thank you to our keynote speaker who navigated all kinds of airline delays today to be with us. We appreciate you, Alex. We look forward to hearing from you shortly. We would like to also recognize those whose generous support are making today possible. Our presenting sponsor, Indorama Ventures, our gold sponsors, Calhoun Community College and Huntsville International Airport. We also are very appreciative of those members who invest in the work of the Chamber all year long as strategic partners in our 5-year partnership initiative. Those members include 3M, the City of Decatur, Daikin America, Decatur-Morgan Hospital, GE Appliances, a hire company, Indorama Ventures, the Morgan County Commission, Nucor Steel Decatur, Redstone Federal Credit Union, and Renaissance Bank. Please join me in thanking them all for their support. Now at this time, I would like to welcome Pastor George Sawyer with Calvary Assembly to come and offer our invocation.
Let's pray. Father, I thank you for everyone that's gathered here today. Lord, we pray your wisdom and favor on our city. We pray for godly leadership in government and education and every part of our commerce. Father, we pray you would prosper our city as we come to understand when we seek you first, you promise to provide everything we need. We pray that Decatur would be a city shining on a hill, a place of justice, equality, opportunity, and unity for everyone. Thank you for the food that we're about to receive. We ask these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Sawyer. Please enjoy your lunch, and we will continue with our program very, very shortly. Please continue enjoying your lunch. We're going to get started. We have several things to accomplish. We are fortunate to have several elected officials here with us this morning, and a few that are representing elected officials. If you would please stand at this time and let us recognize you. Thank you so much for your service. Every year since 1998, the Chamber presents the Rosie Hennessy Award to our Commodore of the Year. To present this year's award is last year's Admiral of the Commodores and Rosie Hennessy Award honoree, Kelly Pate, with the Greater Morgan County Builders Association. She will be joined by Landis Griffin, representing award sponsor Habitat for Humanity of Morgan County.
The Rosie Hennessy Award is given to the Commodore voted on by their peers to be the most exemplary Commodore of the year. I can say that word. Rosie Hennessy served as a Commodore in the 1980s through the mid-90s. A graceful leader, Rosie displayed energy and great character. After Rosie passed away, the Commodores decided to honor her by giving an award in her name. Every year, the Commodores vote to give this distinguished and prestigious award to the Commodore who reflects the remarkable characteristics exhibited by Rosie herself. And I knew Rosie Hennessy all my life, and she was such a good soul, so professional and wonderful and hardworking, and a great example for all of us, just like this year's Commodore of the Year. We are going to celebrate Linda Schoo, who is our Commodore and best represents these characteristics. Linda, along with her husband Jerry and son Danny, are the franchise owners of Marco's Pizza in Decatur. With 3 years of dedicated service as a Commodore, Linda has generously shared her expertise, mentoring fellow business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs. She's also very active in our community, serving as a member of the Decatur-Morgan County Hospitality Association, a board member of the Decatur-Morgan County Tourism, and executive board member of the Decatur-Morgan County Chamber of Commerce. It is our honor and privilege to present Linda with this well-deserved award. Please join me in congratulating Linda. We're supposed to step over here and get your award.
These up here in my notes.
Thanks.
Aw, thank you so much.
Look this way for a picture. Yes.
One more. She's always got one more.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, thank you. Wow, this is exciting. Thank you so much. Landis especially, thank you first, and the Habitat Humanity Restore for sponsoring the Rosie Hennessy Award today. Landis has been a great leader for us all year as the 2023 Commodore Admiral, and it's been great working with her and getting to meet all of the new Commodores that sign on every year. I want to thank the Chamber staff, of course, for their enthusiasm and passion that they bring to the Decatur-Morgan County community. Their hard work and their leadership are vital to the success and our growth. We have over 40-plus Commodores that mentor new businesses. We attend ribbon cuttings in the heat, the wind, the cold, and meeting so many new businesses and helping mentor businesses in our community. It's, we also get to tell the exciting story of what makes Decatur and Morgan County such a great place, a special place to live in and also to invest in. I want to thank my husband, Jerry, who planned his retirement and then decided we needed to be small business owners and open a Marco's Pizza. And neither of us have ever done anything like that before. So, his example and his leadership has helped our son Danny, who's our general manager, to build a very successful team at Marco's, and we consider all of our team family. We appreciate that all of you come and visit us at the pickup window or have our delivery drivers come to your door, and that some of you have allowed us to even have your kids become employees of ours. So, again, they're all family for us at Marco's. I want to thank everyone in the room today for your support of the Chamber Board, of course, the Commodores, and for your investment in our community. Thank you for this award.
Thank you, Kelly and Landis, for presenting the award. And Linda, you are most deserving, pulling double duty as a Commodore and a board member, so thank you so much. It is now our honor to present the Citizen of the Year Award named in honor of Miss Athelyne C. Banks. The Chamber opens nominations to our membership every year, and a group of past recipients meet to select the honoree. To present this year's award is our 2006 Citizen of the Year Award recipient, Trudy Grisham, and she will be joined by Lori McNutt, representing award sponsor Redstone Federal Credit Union.
I'm not sure that 2006 is accurate. Anyhow, just saying. Y'all, and Linda said it best, but what a wonderful chamber we have. Crystal, you and your staff are, I'm just always amazed. At how much y'all do with a smile, and keep all of us together that want to support you, so thank you. Y'all, it's always an honor for me to serve on the Athelyne Banks Committee and then to present the recipient. I'm going to guess that probably half or more of you in this room didn't know Athelyne Banks. I had the great privilege of knowing her for many years. She was my height, y'all. And we had a great friendship. But the committee would never give this honor to anyone that Athelyne wouldn't look down from the heavens and say, well done, yes, this person represents our Citizen of the Year. This year's recipient is no exception to that. I'm honored to present the award this year. A native of Decatur, y'all, that's always so great to say, because that means that someone loved our community, loved our people, and wanted to come back and be a part of what makes Decatur great, which is its people. Our recipient this year was president of his class at Decatur High School, and then went on to be the president of the student body at University of Mississippi. I still have to say Ole Miss, sorry. And let me tell you, while he was there, and I had to Google some of this. You know, I ring a cowbell, so John, you know, this is kind of interesting for me. First of all, he was on scholarship at the University of Mississippi. And then he received the Truman Scholarship Award. I had to Google that. And let me tell you, the first question I asked was, is this a prestigious award? And oh my, is it a prestigious award? And then a national award. Our recipient, to receive this award, the Truman Award, you had to be someone that had always dedicated service to your community and your family, and you wanted to spend your lifetime of service, to be in nonprofit, to be in the service community, or to even be in politics. Our recipient this year met all of those boxes tenfold. And I thought about that. I mean, how does one so young already decide that that's what they want to do, serve their community? Our recipient went on to work in other states, received his law degree from the University of Alabama. He now serves, I can now say his name because I'm going to tell you where he works. He's the executive director of the Decatur-Morgan County Entrepreneurial Center. And he helped create, if you read the Decatur Daily yesterday, headlines. You always want to be headlines on the paper. Most of the time, Sometimes you don't want to be. Sometimes you don't want to be headlines. This was a great headline. I'm going to tell you that John proposed and helped create the Best and the Brightest initiative. He's one of those himself. He should be, most definitely. But yesterday, the paper said that our classes had doubled from last year. And I'm not going to say the number because I read it quickly, but I believe it's 51 this year. And I read the recipients who are coming, and they're from local, but they're from all over this country that are coming to Decatur because of this initiative. This was the first in our state. John also helped launch the Decatur-Morgan CEO program, the first education curriculum in our state to train high school students to become entrepreneurs. I could go on and on to tell you what folks said about him when they were submitting his nomination, but I'm going to tell you one that touched my heart back when John was freshman or sophomore in college. He came home from school to be with his mom because she was not well. And I never forgot that because all of us that knew his mom and his dad just thought what a wonderful young man that is to lay his education. He wasn't asked to do it. He did it because his heart wanted him to. Today, John is a member of the Kiwanis Club of Decatur. He's a board member of the Decatur-Morgan Hospital Foundation, the Decatur-Morgan CEO, and the Downtown Redevelopment Authority. John continues to be of service to our community, and he's such an encouragement to all of us that just makes us want to do more. I love it that John Joseph is the fourth, which means that we've had a lifetime of John Joseph doing things for our community. Athelyne Banks Award for 2014. Please come forward, John Joseph the fourth.
Thank you. When I found out about this a couple of weeks ago, the only phrase that came to my mind and that has stayed there is that this is profoundly humbling for a couple of reasons. The first is God. You know, this Sunday we will celebrate a God who knew we were born into sin, knew it would separate us from perfection, sent his son to die and rise again and offer that gift of salvation to all who would believe and turn from sin, which we also cannot do on our own strength. And I believe that's objectively true, not because we're in the Bible Belt or anything else, but when you believe that, you also believe that this world is the story of God working through men and women to accomplish a great plan and a good plan. And so that's humbling. And all the glory goes to him. It's also humbling because of the unbelievable amount of support that I have received in my life. My wife, Anna, who loves me despite my numerous flaws and does the work that people don't see and that the world doesn't always notice and that may not make it into a newspaper, and yet it gives our lives meaning. I love you and I thank you for that. Our girls, Claire and Juliet, it's a joy to be your dad. And Mom and I are both so proud of you. My brother Charles, thank you for putting up with your brother and coming from Nashville to be here today. Blake and Faye Temple. As Trudy mentioned, I lost my mom when I was 19 and dad when I was 35. And so the ground, if you've lost one or both of your parents, you know the ground just seems a little less firm then. And for the last 6 years, Blake and Faye have been there at every turn to teach us how to be better spouses, better parents, better everything. When your house gets flooded, Faye's able to work magic and make your house come back to life. And I just cannot tell you how much we appreciate that and how you've made the ground a little more firm for us. And I cannot thank you enough and tell you how much that means to our whole family. Some good friends who are with you, thick and thin, Tricia Pruitt, who nominated me for this, Donna Witten, representing our East Center team, not to mention Larry Way and the founding board and all the people here who started the place where we're privileged to work and help nearly 60 businesses now, which is just a testament to our entrepreneurial community. And so many others who just allow me to call and try something new or different or big. What a generous gift that is. And I mean the elected officials, I mean people who I'm asking for money, I mean our economic development leaders, and so many others across this room who are just doing so much for our community. And so to me, the real question becomes, what else should I be doing given the astounding amount of support I've been blessed with and that our family has been blessed with? But back to God working through all of you. Juliet, a week or so ago, said, America is a team. It's not just about you or me. And I think the same thing applies to our community. And thank the Lord that that sentiment is in the hearts of children. We need it to carry on a free country. But this is a place, this community is a place, and this county and city are places where people come on a Saturday morning and build habitat houses so that someone has a place to sleep. And it's a place where Bill and Betty Sims give us bike trails and restaurants and bed and breakfast, and then take time to come see my wife in a play at the Princess. And where Jim and June Odom give us fundraisers, but also presentations on the nature of the creation of the universe. Like, it's a pretty talented family. It's where Crystal Brown is the president of the statewide Chamber Association, but doesn't feel the need to tell you about it. It's where Jeannie Payne decides that she'll just become an ace fundraiser and be excellent at that, like she is everything that she does. We live in a place where a student hits hard times, and a family that barely knows him takes him in and places him on a different trajectory in life. That's happening right now. And it's where entrepreneurs like Clarence Roberts, who's an East Center client and battles multiple health issues, builds a cleaning business, one business at a time, one building at a time, with his wife while they raise children. And to wrap up, now our task in my mind is to define who we will be going forward, but also to remember what holds us together. Remember what we want to preserve. And when we do that, let's not be afraid to believe in the good things. We wouldn't be called to be light if there wasn't ever going to be any darkness. There's challenges, but so many of you are light. And so many of you do things that are not noticed or not appreciated or seen, but day after day after day, you get up and you do it, and we're better for it. I thank you for that. And let's not fail to look at this county through others' eyes, because people are looking at our county. Chairman Long recently said this is a county that is again seen and respected, and he's right. And they see sunrises and rivers and trails and jobs and possibilities. We have a person we recruited here through the Best and Brightest program. She moved here. Her sister came to visit. Her sister's fallen in love with Decatur, fallen in love with Morgan County. Now she's moving here. We have a documentary coming showing how people are working hard to work together. And it is hard to work together sometimes, despite the many pressures that we face. After college for a little while, I was on a demolition crew. And the thing I learned about demolition is it's not that hard. That's why they put me on the demo crew. You don't want me building whatever it is you're trying to build. Building is hard. Demo is easy. So if we want to demo, we demo, but who's going to be around to build? And people are looking and they're seeing a city that is developing here. They are seeing multiple cities that are developing and growing, and they're seeing a county that is working hard to keep moving forward so we can create opportunities for our children and their children and their children. And yeah, we have trials, but we can face them with humility. We can face them with patience, and we can just seek the pursuit of truth for the sake of truth and nothing else. So to wrap up, I go back to a song I really like called God of This City. It was actually written by a band called Blue Tree, which was from Northern Ireland, which itself is a place that has experienced its share of difficulties and challenges. And my favorite line, it says, "For greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city." And I would add, in this county. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you.
fortunate are we. Thank you so much, Trudy and Lori, for presenting the award. John, for the amazing work that you do day in and day out with your team, and for calling Decatur home. We appreciate you very much. Okay. John took us to church, and there, I have it. At this time, it is now my honor to welcome to the stage our outgoing, which is unbelievable, it's been a year, Board Chairwoman Jamie Reeves, owner of MeritHouse Realty Capital Management. I would like to personally thank her for her steadfast leadership over this past year. We have had an incredible year. We've tackled some tremendous things and had amazing growth. And we also have a renewed commitment at the Chamber to ensure that Decatur-Morgan County remains united and strengthened. So at this time, please help me welcome Jamie to the stage.
Thank you so much. It's amazing to think that a year has passed. I can't believe that we're already here. Thank you all for joining us today. And first off, I would officially like to call this annual meeting to order. As I stand before each of you today reflecting on my term as board chairman, I am filled with an immense sense of pride. This past year has been nothing short of remarkable, marked by progress and innovation that has propelled our chamber forward in exciting new directions. The implementation of our new 5-year strategic plan builds seamlessly upon the accomplishments of our preceding initiative and has enhanced our focus on workforce development, business growth, advocacy, and quality of life. Central to our workforce development and recruitment efforts was the launch of Career Connect in North Alabama. This hiring platform effectively matched skilled talent with job opportunities at no cost to employers. Our inaugural hiring event welcomed more than 350 job seekers participating in on-site interviews, resulting in nearly 800 applications submitted to Career Connect within the first month alone. Through this platform, we are committed to bridging the gap between job seekers and employers, catalyzing economic growth, and fostering a vibrant workforce landscape in our region. Our commitment to workforce development does not stop there. Our third annual Workforce Now Summit tackled critical barriers to employment head-on and laid out strategies to build highly qualified workforce. Our inaugural Industry Day for Teachers provided local educators with hands-on experiences that they were able to take back to their students and introduce them to in-demand careers. In an effort to recognize our educators who excel in inspiring and supporting their students, we implemented the Superstar Teacher Initiative. With our education partner, Calhoun Community College, we facilitated 4 educational camps, including a record-breaking 35 participants in our 18th annual Sweetie Camp. This 4-day camp provides high school girls hands-on experience in welding, electrical, and additive manufacturing. We also became the first chamber to enter a learning partnership with Athens State University to provide our members, their employees, and families with significant tuition discounts. Because of the generous contributions of our members, we've been able to continue making a positive impact in our community through our One Vision Foundation. We funded 2 scholarships for deserving students and supported numerous student camps and programs, including the Decatur-Morgan CEO and Rock the Block. It's through the collective effort of our members that we're able to support such wonderful programs. We also launched, are you noticing that this is a trend this year? We have inaugural, and launch. There are great things happening, y'all. Member 101 events to ensure our new and current members understand how to maximize your membership investment in our chamber. Among the resources offered is our online member information center that can be utilized to promote your business and organization. We continued to advance residential and retail development with a focus on bringing multifamily housing options to the area. The first single-family townhome development was completed, along with over $17 million in new developments in downtown Decatur alone. More than 500 sponsorships were secured by 71 volunteers during our record-setting 19th Total Resource Campaign, led by campaign chair and executive director of GE Appliances, a hire company, Leafy Dighton, and we appreciate their efforts. At your table, you will find a copy of our annual report that highlights all of these accomplishments and more. Together, we have embraced challenges, seized opportunities, and strengthened a resolve to build a brighter future for Decatur-Morgan County. It has been an honor, to say the least, to serve as your board chairman. I would like to offer my sincere thanks to a few individuals, and first and foremost is our fabulous chamber staff. I would love it if you ladies would please stand. I tell everybody I am 100% now a chamber cheerleader. Never in my life have I ever been a cheerleader, or do I pretend to be a cheerleader, but after this stint, I am 100% sold out. Judy Brown is our Director of Member and Investor Relations. Amber Fortenberry is Director of Talent Development and Recruitment. Lisa Hill is the Vice President of Finance and Operations and our Chief Financial Officer. Megan Holloway is Administrative and our Events Coordinator. Rachel Keith, Director of Communications. Denise Marco, Director of Program Development. And last but certainly not least, someone who's become one of my best friends, Crystal Brown, President and Chief Executive Officer. Ladies, thank you so much for all the work that you have done. Thanks for keeping me in line and keeping the rest of us in line this past year, and always having, like Trudy said, smiles on your faces and happy to see us and jolly every time we see you. I don't know how you do it, but we are so thankful to each of you. Next up, I would like to thank my executive committee. I would ask that you all please stand and be recognized. John Holley, who is the chair-elect, who you will hear from shortly. Ray Harden, who is past chair. Kent Lawrence, treasurer. Noel Lovelace, vice chair of community building. Linda Schoo, congratulations, Linda. She's vice chair of development. Bo Weinman, vice chair of leadership and networking. And Terry Welch, vice chair of talent development and education. Thank you all. To our board of directors, thank you for the dedication of your time and talents to the chamber this past year. These individuals have been very active in their roles throughout the year. We have 5 retiring board members, and at this time, I would like for each of you to come and be recognized as I call your names. Ray Harden. Keith Jackson could not be with us today, so next up, Noel Lovelace. Crystal Morgan. and finally, Bo Weinman. Thank you all so much for your service and commitment over the years. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank some people that have stood beside me and allowed me the opportunity to serve. I was not going to get choked up until John Joseph comes up here with all his things, like she said, and took us to church. I definitely would not have the opportunity to advocate for our business community and you all like I would have without the support of my family, my husband, Steve Reeves. He is my match. He is my helpmate, my perfect partner. If you don't have a relationship with your spouse, work on that at your home base. My children, I have 2 here. You know, we have a few children, so we have 5 girls. Emily and Mason are here today, and I'm so thankful for them because they have kind of had to stand in and parent for me occasionally for the 2 little ones that are 6 and 9. And so, you know, they've kind of been my surrogate mom, so I'm so thankful to them for helping me out when I had events or places to be. I cannot leave out my MeritHouse family. They are here with me today. I have a few people, Philip and Jade, Jessica Birch. Whew, she is my go-to girl. She definitely keeps me in line. I am not a planner, and so she makes sure that everything I do is planned. I just show up, and I am so thankful to her. If I could just leave you with some words of encouragement today, love your people. Love your people wherever you are in that moment. Love your people. Also, be kind, show grace, encourage one another. This has been such an honor, and I am leaving it in good hands. I am confident that the Chamber will be in good hands with our upcoming Chairman, John Holley. John is the Dean for Technologies at Calhoun Community College, and we could not have a better leader to continue promoting our mission. Please welcome me in joining our new Chairman, John Holley, to the stage.
Stay right there, Jamie, if you don't mind. Tell everybody good afternoon, and thank you, Jamie. Appreciate you, and there's been so many great people up here, it's hard to follow, but you've done such a great work for the Chamber this past year, and it's been a pleasure working with you and over the years getting to know you and the great things you've done. That said, as my first official act of chairman, I would like to present you with an award, a plaque, and your gavel. As I begin, I'd like to thank our 2024, 2025, and that's very hard for me to say. Those doesn't seem like it ought to be 25 on that list, but Executive Committee, please stand as I call your name. Leafy Dighton, Chair-elect. Jamie Reeves, past chair. Kent Lawrence, Treasurer. Kelly Powers, Vice Chair, Community Building. Linda Schoo, Vice Chair Development. Cindy Smith, Vice Chair Leadership and Networking. And Terry Welch, Vice Chair Talent Development and Education. If you will, give all of them a hand. You can be seated. I would also like to thank the incoming board and new members that will be joining us. I look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. And I want to thank and recognize just a few other people. The Chamber staff, has been so great. I know everybody in this room knows and appreciates them and their awesome work they do and how easy they make it for us that serve with them. So I'm very thankful for them. Really would want to thank everybody at Calhoun Community College. I'm sure you probably spoke to him already, but our president, Dr. Hodges, has probably had something to say to you today, but everybody at this table is such great people to work with. I work at the best place you could ever work for. And we're living in good times, right, Dr. Hodges? It is good times. So that we're experiencing at college. I couldn't do it without supportive administration working along with me, faculty, staff, and great admin assistant that keeps us on track and doing great things. Also, many times, and when I think about different things that so blessed on, and I was talking to Miss Trudy before we got even served lunch today, just some things that fall into your life that you don't realize how blessed you are, and very rare opportunity that you get in front of a group such as this and you get to tell them thanks and tell them that you love them. But I will tell you that if my grandparents, very much like many of your grandparents or that whole generation, wanted to escape the South, wanted to escape Alabama and migrated north to Michigan and different places such as that. And I'm very fortunate because my grandmother wanted to come back to Alabama, be close to family, be close to things. And when they arrived in the 60s in Decatur, Alabama, it wasn't cotton fields that they escaped from. When they came back, there was an industrial base here. There was a place to go to work and make a living and raise a family. And I'm so thankful that not far after that, my mother, Terry, and my father followed along. And it had me right down here on Somerville Road at Decatur General. My mother's joining us today, and I'm so thankful, and I love her, and I'm thankful she's here today with us. Also, my wife couldn't be here today, but my wife of going on 30 years, Tracy. She's a special education elementary teacher, and if you know much about public education, you know she's not taking off in the spring when testing and IEPs are going on. Even for a chamber event like this, she's not going to take off for that. But she's my support, and I'm so thankful, and I love her. And then my son is with us today, Spencer, and he's probably mad because I'm calling him out because this is not his environment, but I'm so thankful that he has been such a good son, and I want you to know how much I love him, and I'm so thankful for him. So God has blessed me in many ways. God blessed me bringing that I could be born and raised and lived the majority of my life in Decatur-Morgan County, and I'm so thankful for that. And I hope to live here the rest of my days and then move on to something better, a better reward, if possible. So thank you. It's also such an honor. It's really, I told Miss Trudy this also when we were speaking, it's really a humbling, overwhelming honor to be considered for chair of the chamber here. And I'm so thankful that I was considered, I was selected, and I'm thankful those that have come before me, and it's very humbling. John, Linda, all the work that you do, it's so humbling to even be on the stage when y'all have been on the stage. Thank you for everything you've done. As we prioritize the critical areas of the previous year, we have not only achieved significant milestones, but also laid a foundation for sustained progress and meaningful impact for the year to come. We will be intentional about connecting our business and industry partners to a well-educated and skilled workforce. The Chamber will continue to be a leader in programs that help develop our future workforce, including the addition of healthcare and precision machining camps. Additionally, we are committed to ongoing collaboration with our economic development partners to solidify our status as the community of choice, offering exceptional quality of life. As I assume the role of board chairman, I am deeply honored to work with our board, our staff, and members as we continue our momentum of moving Decatur and Morgan County forward. I would now like to welcome the Chamber's Vice Chair of Talent Development and Education, Terry Welch to the stage to introduce our keynote speaker.
Well, first I want to say it's my privilege to be able to announce Alex Manse today as our keynote speaker. Alex began his career as an engineer with Monsanto and ExxonMobil, rising quickly through the corporate ranks to hold various managers and executive positions with both companies. Alex was the recipient of the National Society of Black Engineers Award as the most promising engineer, recipient of ExxonMobil Distinguished Engineer Award, nominated by DSM Chemicals as the United Nations Industry Ambassador, recognized by Houston Business Magazine in 2020 as one of the oil and gas industry leaders. Very prestigious background, but I do know Alex pretty well. So, after leaving the industry, he went on to start his own company, which was a consultant company, Manse & Associate, and later merged to Sinclair Group in 2014. That's where Alex and our paths crossed during that time period. Alex is currently the president and CEO and owner of Sinclair Group, one of the country's most well-respected global consulting firms headquartered in the Woodlands, Texas. Over the 30 years, while raising his children with his wife, Lori, he has lived in over the United States, all over the United States, and worked in more than 25 countries. Originally a native of Kirkwood, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis, he's a highly sought-out speaker working with a multitude of organizations around the world. Alex and I have known each other on a personal note for 15 years, and I will tell you, his experience, but also his character, his integrity, in the way that he loves people, I think you will hear in his talk today. Alex and everyone, please give Alex Manse a Decatur warm welcome.
Good afternoon. First, I want to give honor to God for allowing me to be here and be in the same room with this group of very special people. It's difficult to stand here today because typically I do this all over the world, so this is not any big deal to me. But I rarely follow a group of people like I've just done. Thank you very much, Jamie. I'm used to following CEOs of corporations and other folks that are in the industry where they struggle to even complete a sentence without getting all technical and getting in their own way. But the dynamics of John Joseph and the words that you shared, who is a person I've come to really love and appreciate, as well as others that have spoken here today, I want you to know that this is not normal. And I say that with all sincerity, because as I mentioned, I've spoken to groups and people all over the world. To have the kind of conversations that you've just heard and to talk about the things in the way in which you've talked about the things in this chamber meeting is not normal. It's refreshing, it's powerful, but you have to appreciate the dynamic that is Decatur and Morgan County. And more so the people that make up the folks in this room. Crystal was tracking, I think, my flight last night. And every time I tried to catch another plane, I got a note, an email, a phone call from Crystal. And I'd already gotten in trouble with Crystal a little bit, I think, because her face kept popping up on my phone until finally my wife said, "Who's this pretty little black woman keeps calling you?" And I kind of didn't know where to go with that because I wasn't quite sure how to explain that away. But I've come to really appreciate someone who I've only known for maybe 2-3 months that I think and I consider in my circle of very close friends and family. And that's only something you get from human beings that who they are are something more different and distinct than what you normally get. And because I see people all over the world and interact with people all the time, when I chose to come back and support Decatur in a very strange request, which I'll talk about in a minute, I only did it because there's something special about Decatur. I had worked here before as a consultant, as Terry Welch mentioned, with our folks from Indorama, and I see a few familiar faces. At the time, they were BP. And I was a lot heavier then, so I don't know if you realize that. I'm not sick. I just decided to stop eating. But I wanted to start this off by saying this is a very special place. And I don't say that just because you've asked me to come here and you've given me a nice, very nice meal, by the way. You don't hear the type of things out of people's mouths as you've heard here today. And I want you to appreciate that for a minute, because when I was asked to come back here to support you as a consultant with one of the leadership groups that is working kind of on a few things to further improve this area and this community, I did it because there were good people here. And I found that out when I first interacted with the people at BP, now Indorama, as I mentioned. And I wanted to come back and see if I can help and try to give some of my expertise or experience to the people here, because this is such a beautiful place to be. And sometimes we all get caught up in our everyday lives and look at all the problems that we see. But I just came from Phoenix, Arizona, where I probably crossed more homeless people on my way to the hotel than I've seen in the last 20 years all over the world. People fighting and arguing in Houston and Austin, where I live, about who's going to be the next city manager. And here you have something special that someone from the outside clearly recognizes that's different. And when Terry and Crystal asked me to be here, it was largely not because of my industrial experience. Yes, I'm CEO of a company that works with companies around the world to improve their performance, and we do it quite well. We employ some of the most talented retirees to come back in and help companies improve their performance. So I run into brilliant people all the time, but what I don't run into all the time are special people. People that who they are speaks louder than anything they do. And when Terry and Crystal talked to me about coming here to work with a group of people, it was largely out of my life experiences, more so than my professional experience. My life experience is what I really want to talk to you today about, because in this room sits the leaders of Decatur-Morgan County. And to be a leader, you only need one thing, and it's absolutely one thing beyond anything else. It's not talent, it's not lineage, it's not money, it's not even position or authority. To be a leader, you have to have followers. Without followers, you're not a leader. When Kent Lawrence or John Joseph speaks, I'm instantly a follower. Not because of what they say, but who they are when they say it. I've known Terry Welch for almost 15 years now, and I know who he is. And even more profoundly, I know who he is because of Janelle Welch. Those are good people. Regardless of what he may do, that always shows up in the door before he does. That's something that you have to really think about, because you will choose the future of Decatur-Morgan County. As a matter of fact, you that are in this room, that are the leaders of this area and this community, will set the stage for what happens over the next 20 or 30 years. And I don't say that lightly, but I say it because of this life experience. As was mentioned in the introduction, I'm from a small town, a suburb in St. Louis called Kirkwood. Kirkwood's one of the wealthiest suburbs in the nation. It wasn't always that way. It is now. But as I was growing up, I lived on the other side of the tracks, and I know you know what that means in this town. Now, Kirkwood has in it right now a population of about 30,000, and I want to parallel it with another St. Louis suburb, Ferguson, Missouri. And for you that don't know the Midwest, St. Louis is a very unique place. St. Louis is one of the most segregated cities in the U.S. Not officially, but by the way the city itself is broken up. The thing, if you're ever in St. Louis, to ask someone, and don't be surprised if they ask you this, is what high school did you go to? not what college you went to, not who you married, but where'd you go to high school? And they ask that question because that, they believe, in most part, tells them everything they need to know about you. Your race, your religion, your socioeconomic background, and again, what side of the tracks you come from. But if you contrast Ferguson and Kirkwood, two things have happened over the last 20 years. Many of you have heard of Ferguson. It was the infamous place where police officers shot and killed Michael Brown in 2014. And I have a connection to that. Not only am I from St. Louis, but the apartment complex that the officer and the incident occurred in is where my aunt lives, my Aunt Ola. And she called my mom, who thus called me, and said, there's something going on, and I'm not quite sure what's happening. Well, if you read the national news and you know what happened in 2014, that was an unfortunate incident similar to the one you've gone through over the last, I guess, 6 months or so. And there were a ton of folks that came out, everyone from the Department of Justice and individual organizations trying to represent their cause, to get to the microphone and say, this is how it needs to be going forward for the city of Ferguson. And yes, it was a tragic incident. The trials went on. Everybody had their say. The Justice Department got involved. The president sent down people. There was a huge racial divide between a city that was already divided because of an incident. And what they failed to remember is that they, at that time, when everyone was taking a position about what the future needed to look like, they were defining the future of the city. That happened in 2014. At the time, Ferguson had more Fortune 500 companies headquartered in that city than anywhere else in the country. Boeing, at the time it was previously McDonnell Douglas, General Dynamics, Emerson Electric, Express Scripts, McCarthy Brothers Construction, all happened to go to Ferguson because it was close to the airport. So if you go to St. Louis and you land at their airport, you're landing in Ferguson, about 1.5 miles where the infamous Mike Brown incident occurred. Well, they all came and tried to do things to make the situation different, and everyone brought their personal agendas and said, we shall do this, and by God, everybody else is wrong if they don't want to do it this way. Well, that took place about 5 miles away from the town I grew up in, Kirkwood. And about 7 years earlier, there was an incident in Kirkwood that parallels that very interestingly. But this one is much closer to me. There was a guy by the name of Charles Cookie Thornton. And Cookie was a personal friend of mine. I had known Cookie my entire life. He was older than me, but he lived 2 houses down as I was growing up. Cookie was the class everything, the best athlete, the best looking. Matter of fact, he was the first African-American prom king at Kirkwood High School. Kirkwood was a city that was developed because there were a lot of wealthy people from the city of St. Louis that worked for Anheuser-Busch and moved out to the suburbs, and they started their families there, and they wanted servants to work for them. So a lot of people that were moving there from the south, a lot of black people are moving there from the south, they put them in a little plot of land on the other side of the tracks. That happened to be where my family raised me, and I proudly still say I'm from Kirkwood. But there was something underneath all that we kind of forgot, because Kirkwood was a phenomenal place to be, a lot like Decatur. But as I grew up in the black section of town, Cookie Thornton was a great friend of mine. He was a mentor. He was someone I looked up to. But there was always that underlying tension of racial, what's really going on, although we all were anointed, you're a Kirkwood guy first. But there was that unspoken. And as Cookie went off to college, he graduated. He was an All-American track star. He got his MBA from the University of Missouri. He was everything that black men wanted to be in my community. Matter of fact, my parents told me, be like Cookie. I used to work for him for the summers. We did construction. He owned his own construction company and had a bunch of trucks and things he used to park on the lots next to his house. And everyone loved Cookie. Well, over the years, Kirkwood had never annex that little part of town. It was unincorporated, and the city leaders here know what that kind of means sometimes. Well, in 1993, Kirkwood decided, because there was some major development that wanted that area in Kirkwood, to annex that area. So the city annexed that area, and it became Kirkwood. But all of a sudden, an unincorporated area had to start to obey the rules and regulations of Kirkwood proper now. And all of a sudden, Cookie and his business could no longer park his trucks next to his little workshop. Well, fast forward a few years, the city and Cookie debated and argued and went to city council meetings and tried to get regulations changed. And all of a sudden, everyone who said they were all about Kirkwood first, some of that underbelly, bubbling angst and division bubbled up. And they finally said, Cookie, you can't park your trucks there. And they ticketed him over 150 times because he said, I'm Cookie. You guys have always agreed to this. Well, this frustration continued over the years, and finally one day, unbeknownst to any of us, Cookie walked to City Hall at a city council meeting and shot and killed 6 people. The same City Hall that my 90-year-old father now was headed to for the monthly city council meeting. Now, I say that and with some pause because the only reason my dad, who was everything to me, was not in that room is because my mother told him to go pick up her prescription first. So I had to face the potential that my father would have died at the hands of one of my best friends. So why do I tell you this? It's because Ferguson, as I mentioned, had everyone in a similar situation stand up and scream and yell, "You're wrong if you don't agree with me." But yet Kirkwood, after such a horrible incident, said, we've missed the boat here. We've done something wrong. We're Kirkwood. And who we are, we're people who believe in God. We love each other. We're bigger than this. We want to create a future that's all about who we intend to be. And the city came together, and let me tell you how it came together. Cookie was also killed by 2 police officers, and rightfully so, because he actually killed 2 police officers as he entered the building that were working their duties at the city council meeting. But Cookie was known by everybody. And what happened was that changed the entire tenor of this response. One of my high school principal was approached and said, there's no black church in town big enough to hold Cookie's funeral. And the pastor of the United Methodist Church in town, the white church, said, you can have Cookie's funeral at our church. That entire act, who that congregation and that pastor was, who they were being as human beings, changed the tide and set the tone for the future of Kirkwood to this day. I had mentioned Ferguson earlier. If you go and do the demographics of Ferguson today, Ferguson has lost 70% of its population post the Mike Brown incident. Ferguson has lost all but one of those Fortune 500 companies. They've moved out. Ferguson today, after billions of dollars and hours have been thrown at that problem, still are fighting the issue of policing and racial injustice. Because they chose to create a future that was divisive and it's my way or it's the highway. Whereas Kirkwood had one single pastor and an organization who stepped up and said something simple as, you can have it at our church. I present you with this today because I know with all the goodness that is this community, with all things that are great about Decatur, that I stand back and go, this is not normal. The folks in this room who are the leaders of this community have the opportunity to set the tone for what happens going forward post the Steve Perkins incident. I'm not going to get into the Steve Perkins incident. That's something for other people to handle. But what I will tell you is there will be other incidents, maybe not like that, but you'll have a plant that'll explode. You'll have a major death of one of your leaders. Something may happen at one of your schools. The question I leave for you today is, who are you going to be as a community? You have everything you need right here. This is a phenomenal place. And I started this entire speech off by saying, this is not normal. I don't know if you recognize that the words that you've spoken today amongst each other, I don't hear from other organizations. I don't hear from other chambers. I definitely don't hear from a diverse group of people. It's rare that there's this much mixture in a room, black, white, male, female. In the room when I speak, I'm usually the only one. I see you nodding your head. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. And again, I don't say that to spur any more division, but the beauty that is Decatur-Morgan County, I want you to appreciate, and please acknowledge yourselves for a future that you can create because of who you are and not just what you do. There's a big difference there. Who you are as human beings will set the future and inspire others to sit in your chair and take on the future you begin to create today. We're human beings first. We're not human doings. Yes, there are a myriad of things that you can do to improve the situation, but what's most powerful is who you are as human beings in this room tonight. And John, I want to acknowledge you for the words you spoke, because when he spoke, the silence that was behind each of his words was the power of his spirit and who he is as a human being. You heard it from Crystal. You heard it from others. It's not just John. It's Decatur and Morgan County people. And the only thing I'll leave you with and ask you as you move forward and continue to lead this organization as well as this community is appreciate what you have, because everyone doesn't have this. I almost lost my father. I did lose a good friend because we didn't look at who we were being to each other and for each other. We were more worried about what we had to do. I don't want you to face that kind of fate. I don't want your existence on this earth to be left with that stain. But you have an opportunity, and that opportunity is at your hands right now, and I will appreciate giving the opportunity to be here and speak because it's bigger than just a luncheon with a number of friends that we get to see, and then we all go off to our neutral corners. You, again, everything you do and everything you say and who you are, people are watching. And I'd like to have you all know that you have something special, and that is not seen in a lot of places. Please build off of it, appreciate it, hand it down, and come together in a way in which you never have to face a Kirkwood incident or a Ferguson incident or, God forbid, another Steve Perkins incident. I appreciate you all. As a human being, I love you all. I thank God for bringing me here. This is a place that when I first came, I thought, Alabama. And now as a Texas Longhorn, I'll probably be saying that a little bit louder now that we're in the SEC. Hey, I'm just saying. But again, I thank you. I appreciate the time that you've allowed me to share my story. And again, I want you all to look at each other and really appreciate what you have here. And think about who you're being as you go forward, because you're creating a future for this community that will last far beyond yourselves in this room. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Wow. Alex, thank you for speaking with us today, and thank you for that great story. And while you were speaking, and who we are, and who thinking about who we want to be. And Jamie, I go back to your words where you said, love your people. And I have to think, love everyone, care for everyone, be kind. What does that do? You know, It's just some basic things that I think we can do. So Alex, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I want to congratulate one more time our Rosie Hennessy Commodore of the Year, Linda Schoo, and our Miss Athelyne C. Citizen of the Year, John Joseph. My sincerest thanks to Jamie and all those who have come before me as chair and continue to serve. Thank you to all our sponsors and investors. Before we go, I want to remind you of a couple events coming up. Our next Member 101 Lunch and Learn will be Friday, April 26th at noon. Again, please sign up and learn how to maximize your membership investment. The Chamber's State of the City Forum, presented by Gateway Commercial Brokerage, is scheduled for Tuesday, April 30th at 7:30 a.m. here at the DoubleTree. An invitation to RSVP will be sent soon. Nominations are open right now for the Small Business Person, Young Professional, and Nonprofit Professional of the Year awards. Honorees will be recognized at the Chamber Small Business Awards celebration presented by King Insurance Agency on Wednesday, May 22nd at 11:30. Make sure you are following us on our social media platforms, and to register for our upcoming events, visit our website at dcc.org by scanning the QR code on the annual report. And finally, thank you, Chamber members and guests, for attending, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Our annual meeting is adjourned.